welcome to this new Coach Dev Academy Lab Guide. I'm Corentin Guinez, and today we're gonna deal with the famous Nürburgring Nordschleife with the Mercedes AMG GT4 for week 9 of the Falcon Tire GT4 Challenge. As usual, first hot lap, and then I'm gonna go into more details about the track, my braking zones, my racing lines, and yeah, let's go for it. Okay. Yep. All right, guys. Here we go for some details about the lap. So here we go. We start on the Nürburgring sprint layout. We're gonna go down to turn 1. We are with fifth gear. First braking zone is right there. I'm gonna use the grass which is right there on the left as a braking point. I think it's quite good. I braked a bit late on this one, to be honest, so I think you should brake a bit earlier than this. If you go for a normal racing line, this time it was a bit like an overtake, but it's fine. As you can see, on the grass, pushing the brakes, and I'm full brake because you can brake really hard with the AMG. You cannot really feel the ABS. Looking for the ball on the inside. Do not cut this one because you can get the slowdown if I'm right. So I'm gonna just go close to it. So I'm missing a bit the apex this time. Like I said, I braked a bit late, but it's fine. The lap is quite good. So now I'm gonna exit not too wide because if you can get the off track if you go right there. So I'm gonna stay a bit away from the curb. And now I'm gonna move to the right side of the track to prepare turn 3, which is right there. I'm gonna try to have a late apex. Short shift to third to avoid wheel spin using the curb on the outside, and there I'm gonna go as fast as I can on the inside to have a short racing line. Gonna use the curb on the inside, not too inside because then you're gonna get the off track. Short shifting to third on the exit of this one using the curb on the inside. At a bit of a moment on the outside of this, on the exit of this one. Next corner there of the sprint layout, I'm gonna use the 100-meter board. Fourth gear, down to third, down to second. Now we move on this corner, third gear still, using all the curb on the inside, carrying a lot of speed. Small brake there, on power now, using all the curb on the outside. And now we move on the fast chicane of the layout. I'm gonna look at the 50-meter board on the right. I'm gonna work at this point, downshift to third if I'm right. Yep, third gear. Don't go across the bollards because then it's an off track. Using all the curbs. Same for the exit, using all the curb on the exit. And at this one, I'm gonna use the tire marks on the track to brake. I'm not braking too much because I need to carry a lot of speed and because it's going uphill as well, so I need to carry quite a lot of speed. Second gear, then as you can see, I'm waiting a bit to put full power. I'm just waiting to rejoin the Nordschleife layout to avoid any wheel spin because the track is flat, so it's a bit easier for the grip. Now with second gear, as you can see on the entry of the Nordschleife, I'm going as wide as I can to prepare my exit of this one. Down to second gear, I'm waiting a lot to put the power down. Like at this point, you think you can put the power down, but you're gonna go on the curb, and the curb is way too high to go on top of this one. So you just need to just wait a bit to put the power down. Onto the next corner. This one is completely flat out. At this point, I'm looking at the white marks on the track. I'm braking at this point. I'm putting like 60% brake force, I would say. And then I'm gonna try to avoid these two curbs. This one, especially because it can throw you just wide. And then it will compromise your corner there. Putting power early. Using the curb on the inside. Using all the curb on this one as well. A bit of brakes just before making the corner. A bit of brakes on this one. Not really necessary, but if you think you have too much speed, you can. And also using all the curb on the outside on the exit of this corner. A bit of brake on the entry of this one. I'm braking a bit early to prepare the exit of this one because it's getting a bit tight, especially after this right corner. using all the curb on the inside, and now it's the power down. And now we go through Flugplatz with the small jump. 5th gear. I'm keeping 5th for this one, just need to lift a little bit to make it a bit of understeer on this wall. Now it's flat out till the next corner, which is the really fast left corner. Up to 6th gear. Need a small lift on this one because you cannot really make it flat out. It's a bit understeery. So I'm just lifting a bit, as you can see. And now I'm putting the power down. I'm braking on this line. I'm using this line in any car, in every car, sorry. I'm just using this line as a braking point. A lot of brakes there, and I'm gonna stay with 3rd gear. I'm gonna try to carry as much speed as I can, as you can see. Now power down, using all the curb on the exit of this one, and now we're down to one of the most exciting part of the track. At this point, I'm looking at the white board on the right. I'm gonna brake at this point, close to this board. As you can see, on the brakes, not too much brake because you have to keep a lot of speed through this one. It's quite a fast corner, using all the curb on the inside, not too much because then it can unsettle the car. Still on the brakes. And when I feel that I'm fine with this corner and I won't go too wide, I will release the brakes, and as you can see, I'm already on the power now because you have to carry speed for the rest of the next part of the section there. You can see now back on power. I know that I can make it, so on power, and I'm gonna go on the brakes again for this one. I'm gonna go wide on this one to prepare the left corner, and also because it gives me the opportunity to stay on the left side of the track to prepare the other exit. Using the curb on the outside, and now we go to Metzgersfeld. Okay, so now we move on Metzgersfeld, which is the next corner. For this one, I'm gonna use this dark patch of tarmac, I would say. I'm gonna brake at the end of this one. I'm gonna keep 5th gear, just a bit of brakes to make it rotate as well, as it can be a bit understeery if you just lift on this one. So now I'm start to brake, not a lot of brakes, and I'm gonna use this bit of concrete on the exit. And I'm gonna brake just after this a bit of concrete there. I'm gonna brake after this one. Not too late because then you have to prepare the exit of this corner, which is a bit out on the exit. So as you can see now on the brakes, fully on the brakes, releasing the brakes now. And now I'm back on power because I know that my racing line is good. So full power on this one. And then I move on this next corner. I'm gonna use the 8 kilometers Bilstein board to brake. So I'm gonna brake a tiny bit after this one. It's quite a long brake because it's going downhill, so you carry a bit more speed. At this point, I'm gonna go back on power. I'm gonna look at the curb on the outside, all the way on the curb. It's gonna be flat out through these S's. I'm gonna go close off the curb on the inside. I will avoid, I all cut this one because then you're gonna go on the white rail on the left. On this corner is quite tricky because you have to carry a lot of speed. But if you carry too much, you will go on the grass on the exit and will end in the fence. So for the entry, I'm gonna use the beginning of this curve. So I'm gonna brake at this point, as you can see on the brakes. Not too much brakes because then you can lose the rear. Still on the brakes, a bit of brakes. And I'm gonna use the beginning of this one to go back on power. And at this point, you can go fully on power. You can see it's a good exit, not too close off the grass, which is perfect. For this one, I'm gonna use this bright patch on the grass to brake. I'm gonna brake slightly after this one. I'm gonna go down to 2nd gear. As you can see, a bit of work with the wheel. With 2nd gear, I'm gonna work on my exit, tight on the wheel, and now back on power. I'm gonna use the concrete on the exit, carry the speed. Now we move on to the next part of the track. I'm gonna use the curb there on the outside. I'm gonna brake at that point. Not too late because then you're gonna go too wide on the exit and the curb is not really kind with the cars most of the time. And you're mainly gonna lose a bit of traction also. So do not brake too late, it's not necessary. The brakes, third gear. This part of the track is quite enjoyable. I'm gonna move as fast as I can on the left side of the track, and when I reach the left side of the track, I'm gonna go on the brakes. I'm gonna try to carry the speed. Now Orient power, full power there, and I'm gonna use a bit of curb on the exit. So now the next corner is a small kink, it's flat out. And then next one, you're gonna look at the Okayama board on the right side. I'm gonna brake at that point when I cannot see the ball anymore. On the brakes, late apex, I'm looking right there for the apex. And now I'm gonna go on power fully, and I'm gonna avoid the curb on the exit because it can be a bit deadly sometimes and you're gonna lose some traction. So now we move on this long straight, fifth gear. No need to put 6 because you cannot, not really necessary as well. Next corner will be a fast left, just a bit of lift or brake. Tiny bit of brake if you need. If you go too fast, you should probably brake, but if you lift early enough, you just need to lift. This time I had to brake because I carried a bit too much speed. Bit of brake, using all the concrete on the exit. This one is flat out, just avoid the curb on the inside. And now we move close to the carousel. I'm gonna use these yellow marks on the track to brake. A lot of brake, down to second gear. Gonna work on my exit. Try to put the wheel straight. Curb on the exit. Now we move on the famous carousel. I'm gonna use this part of the curb, which is the closest of the track, I would say. Fourth gear. Now I'm braking. I'm trying to arrive as straight as I can. Second gear, and then I'm gonna use with the same power. I will stay on the same amount of power if I can, and then go back on power completely. I'm gonna try to not exit too early of the carousel because it's really high at this point, and your car will kind of jump after this, and you will just exit too wide, and you're gonna have to slow down to avoid this curb right there, which is quite high. Most of the curbs are high, so just avoid them if you can. Now we move on one of my favorite part of the track. So this one is flat out. And on this next one, I'm gonna look at the red and white curb right there. I'm gonna stay with fourth gear, a bit of brake. I'm gonna try to carry as much speed as I can. As you can see, a bit of brake. And at this point, I will just manage the brake and the power, as you can see, on power there. And I won't brake anymore through this part. Maybe just a bit there, but I'm mainly just managing the throttle. I will use all the curb on the exit. I'm gonna brake quite early on this one because it can be a bit understeer on this one, so you have to use the camber on the inside to make it to the apex. Avoid the curb on the inside. This one you can take a bit of curb, but do not go too much on this one. This part is also very interesting. You have to carry a lot of speed, but in the same time you have to be careful to not carry too much speed because then you will compromise the rest of this section. So at this point you can see that I'm already lifting, and the corner is quite far actually. But as you can see, I'm lifting a bit of brakes there because there is a bit of concrete on the inside that you can use. So I'm gonna use it to make my exit easier. So as you can see, I'm missing a bit this apex, but I will get this one perfectly, which is fine. I'm gonna use the curb on the exit of this one. Do not go on the grass because it can be enough track. I'm braking at the end of this curb there, which is for me my main reference for this corner. Then I'm gonna look at the apex. I'm gonna try to have a bit of a late apex, not too early to not clip the curb on the inside. And with fourth gear, using all the curb on the exit, be careful with this one because it can be an off track and you can also lose the grip if your rear wheels on the grass, and then you can end in the fence. Moving to the right of the track, preparing my next corner, which is a left-hander. Under brakes already. I'm looking for the apex right there. I'm I'm gonna go back a bit on power to carry the speed. I'm gonna try to reach the apex of this one as well. And then I will stay on the left side of the track to prepare this one. Avoid the curb on the inside. That's the main thing to do. Do not exit too wide on this one because then you can get the off track as well. So just stay with half of your car on the track and half of your car on the curb runoff. So on this one, I'm gonna use the end of this curb to brake, fourth gear, then to third gear straight away. And then you need to have a bit of a late apex on this one. You can use all the curb on the exit. Be careful with this one. It can be a bit tricky sometimes. For this one, I'm gonna use this white line, not white line, but this line on the track. So I'm gonna brake at that point, as you can see, and late apex on this one because it's gonna be tight on the exit. So you don't need to carry too much speed on this one. Otherwise, you're gonna have to brake on the exit of this one or take the off track, which is not ideal on this one because you're gonna lose traction. You can see I'm using all the curb on the exit. Flat out through this part of the track, down the S's. It's flat out through this jump. It's fine. Just need to brake on the exit of it, as you can see. But you need to carry a lot of speed, so not too much brakes. Double apex there. I'm missing a bit this one because I got a bit of understeer with the Merc. On the inside on this one, it's flat out, using all the concrete on the exit. Now down to the bell of S's. It's flat out. It's flat out until the next corner. Just try to avoid the curbs. It's better. Not unsettle the car. And now we move on to this next corner. I'm gonna use I'm gonna brake like around these white marks on the track. You can see I'm braking now. Not too much brakes because you have to carry a lot of speed through this one. So maybe 30% brakes. Not much more. Still on the brakes and now back on power. And then I jump on the brakes. And this one trying to have a bit of a late apex to prepare the exit using all the curbing on the outside. And the second carousel is right there, using a bit of curb on the entry, but I'm trying to not brake on it because then you're gonna go straight or you're gonna probably unsettle the car on the curb, which is not ideal. And then I'm gonna try to not carry too much speed on this one because then you can just miss the racing line. And then back on power on this one, easy, as you can see. Then we move on this tricky corner because you want to carry a lot of speed, but the grass is not too far. So I'm gonna brake a tiny bit before this one. You can maybe just also lift if you are confident enough. And then you have to carry a lot of speed because you have the long straight, then lifting a bit on this one and then flat. I'm going flat when I reach this curve on the inside, as you can see right there. You cannot really see it now. This one, at this point I'm going flat, as you can see, flat out. And now we move on to this long straight. Up to 6th gear, then Belstein Bridge just in front of us with the fast left-hander, flat out. Then it's flat out through these S's, as you can see. I'm not braking at all, just going flat out. And I'm gonna brake at this point, at the end of this patch of tarmac, which is a bit more dark than the rest of the tarmac. Just gonna brake at the end of this one. I'm gonna be careful to not go too inside on this one because it's really bumpy. So just stay a bit away from the orange quadray, which is right there. Do not go too inside. It's not really necessary. You can make the corner anyway. So a lot of brake. And then I'm gonna try to work on my exit, which is right there. I missed a bit the apex on this one. You should go over this curb, but it's fine like this. The racing line is still fine. You can have still a lot of speed through this one with this line. I'm just trying to avoid the curb as well. This one is not necessary, so just avoid this one. And yeah, that's it for the lap, for this really long lap of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Alright guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned a bit from it as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and as well join the Discord server if you have any questions we can answer them more easily. And yes, see you next time for the next lap guide. See you next time. Bye bye.